I'm Norbert Shinkovic, the chairman of the managing board of the association. And with me is today my dearest colleague from North Macedonia, from Skopje, Maja Leđenac. She's vice chairwoman of our association and one of the founders of the IJAV's Media Hub, which is actually a resource center for media development. Hello, Maja.
Hello, everybody. Hope you can hear me.
Okay, so during the next 30 minutes, we are going to talk about the community, but from a different, let's say a new or different perspective. We will try to put into focus the role of this community in the defense of a local community's interest, but as well the media freedom and integrity. In the following minutes, we will talk about sustainability, about credibility. We will put in focus the community media and the non-profit media as well. We will bring you some examples and good practices from the Western Balkans region and from Southeast Europe as well, especially about the communication and the relationship between the communities and the different media outlets. So let's start then. Maja, could you tell me just a bit about the context of the media sphere in the Southeast Europe?
Thank you, Norbert. Well, definitely it is very important to understand the situation in the region of Western Balkans. And we should look at and focus at the concept or a context in which the independent and professional media are working here in this area. Well, we can always look at the Reporters Without Borders Media Freedom Index list. And for example, in our region, Serbia is on the 93rd place, where we have constant daily attacks on journalists by MPs and members of the government. During the COVID-19 lockdown, we had the arrest of the journalist Ana Lalić, which was the only such case in the whole Europe. When we go further on to the other countries in the region, such as North Macedonia, which is on 90th place, we have a continuing attacks on, of course, again, of government official and journalists, and during the COVID, harassment and verbal attacks on journalists increased on social media. Also, Bosnia and Herzegovina, if we go there, they are on 58th place. But when we go there, we can see another thing going on, and the attacks on journalists there contain even an ethnical background because of the highly polarized society. When I was looking through the region, I wanted to also reflect on Bulgaria's situation, which is among all these countries one of the EU member states. So even there we have smear campaigns and every day almost beating up of investigative journalists, and this became also common practice. And what is more worrying is when we look at the Bulgaria, which is in which is in EU, that there is an economic exhaustion of small free outlets, and even the funds of EU that are being distributed only to those media who are ready to create a false reality and to work in a favor of, let's say, governments and oligarchs. So yes, the context in which we work is kind of really hard, but we can see something emerging, and we can see that the community is building around this kind of media. So we can see that this can be a main source of support and survival in the future.
But basically, we could add some, let's say, things on that list of different challenges. Let's say fake news, fake region, the influence of these media contents, but the lack of media literacy as well. You mentioned that the community is actually crucial in this region and this situation as well. My question is basically you have a long year experience in the media development sphere in the region. What do you think? Are the communities ready to support those, let's say, independent media outlets and media outlets with quality journalism?
Well, I can say definitely yes, but I have to say that this process is actually a really long one. It is not a sprint. We like to call it a marathon. Actually, this trend of gathering communities around the media started several years ago when finally in our region e-commerce and using of internet payment finally was kind of regulated. So all these possibilities came also to our countries, and it kind of made some kind of a silent revolution where even the smallest community media on the local level now have the opportunity to work with their communities. But what is maybe more important than these technical things is the trust that should exist among readers, community, and media. In our experience of working with the small community, local media, the trust is actually the basic pillar. And it's not just from our experience. There are, for example, there is a very fresh research done by Reuters Institute. It is actually from the beginning of this year. They did a really extensive interviews and also group discussion, focus groups with the people from 4 different continents. And to have an insight in this, in their answers is actually really important thing for everybody. And we saw that actually the trust is on the highest rank on this of this list. Some of people they derive this trust from let's say being familiar with some of the media brands that they already seen offline, and now when they're in the online sphere, they still feel that they can trust this media. What is the most important thing to derive from this research is that we need to continue to communicate and to build those communities with a good journalism.
You mentioned, Maya, you mentioned all these challenges: political pressure, financial pressure, low level of media literacy, the lack of trust. What do you think, what could be then the solution? Because we see what are the problems. Let's talk a bit about the possible solutions.
Well, solutions are coming with the, let's say, development of the internet in this region. So the stable community around media should bring them actually new revenue streams. And these revenue streams are not just, we need money. No, this is money that is going back to the media for them to have some level of security, or maybe to relax a little bit and to grow and to become better for their audiences. Well, the challenges are a lot of challenges are in front of us, but one of the biggest maybe of them is to change the perspective inside those media, among journalists, among editors, so that they don't think that the key thing is just to have a good product out there and good stories, good news. Journalists, editors, and owners, they must understand. They must understand
I just wanted to add that.
The building community
No,
is
I just wanted to add that all these changes, what you mentioned, could be frightening for, let's say, old school journalism practices, which says, okay, the quality journalism will find its way to the community. Now you are saying that we should change the practices in the media, in the editorial.
Well, this is one of the biggest challenges, as I said, because we all know how to do our job in one way, and now here is some Maya that is telling us that we have to change our processes, our thoughts, the way we act. So yes, it sometimes is very, very hard process, but it is a key process. So the journalists, and owners and editors, they must understand that actually, if we are reaching the community with the message that has a little bit of, let's say, media literacy inside of it also, where we say, hello, but this is very important thing for you guys to have a free flow of information and to have a free media where you can find informations based on which you can make decisions. So this is a continuing process. Yeah.
No, I just wanted, just one thing. You mentioned that these new forms of communication could bring some kind of sustainability, let's say financial stability to those small independent media outlets. What is your opinion? Basically, how important could that revenue stream be, especially in our region?
Well, those revenue streams, we can think about them as, for example, subscriptions, donations, crowdfunding campaigns. And as we saw in our own experience, these can be really, really important parts of sustainability of one media. Actually, we have also research here from the Catalyst Balkans. It's a non-governmental organization, and they are monitor the willingness of citizens to support, let's say, public interest and media also. And when they did this research in Western Balkans, it shows that the biggest donors today and in the future will be individuals, except for let's say, Montenegro, where businesses are on the first place. So these kind of media business or online fundraising for small media can actually bring them really important revenue streams, but they have to be well prepared and to plan good campaigns and actually to involve the IT sector also. But let's talk about it later.
Yeah, let's talk about it a bit later. We prepared a short video about good examples from our region, about different media outlets, mostly small independent media outlets, and the relationship between the community and those media outlets. So let's watch that video.
Maglučistač je lokalni medij civilnog sektora koji piše ono o čemu drugi lokalni mediji ćute. Zajednica ima ogromnu ulogu u našem razvoju, a to je posebno vidljivo u posljednjih godinu dana. Tada smo shvatili da je veoma bitno da jedan deo našeg vremena i novinarskog posla posvetimo zapravo našim čitaocima, to jest našoj publici, da osluškujemo njihove potrebe, da pokušamo da otkrijemo koje su to teme od javnog interesa koje zanimaju našu zajednicu i na taj način da povećamo našu vidljivost i čitanost našeg portala. Crowdfunding kampanja je zapravo test za svaki medij, pomeranje zone komfora i aktivan rad sa zajednicom koja je okupljena oko jednog medija. Mi smo prošle godine u našoj prvoj crowdfunding kampanji uspeli da prikupimo 120.000 dinara, iako je cilj bio 60.000 dinara. Nakon toga u drugoj mini kampanji koju smo sproveli zahvaljujući prisustvu i drugih medija i naravno zahvaljujući Nezavisnom društvu novinara Vojvodine prikupili smo još 40.000 dinara. Zahvaljujući tom iznosu mi smo uspeli da redizajniramo naš sajt i danas imamo novi izgled našeg portala i novi logo.
Види вака е медиум кој раскажува приказни што вредат. Со нашите приказни ги ставаме во фокусот луѓето и настаните за кои веруваме дека треба повеќе да се зборува, им даваме глас на безгласните и ја мобилизираме заедницата за најважните општествени прашања. Нашите главни канали се социјалните мрежи, таму сме присутни веќе 5 години, време за кое што успеавме да изградиме голема и силно поврзана заедница и мислам дека во тоа најмногу ни помогна фактот што и самите многу веруваме во приказните што ги правиме и навистина многу се посветуваме во нивното создавање. Сега главниот аспект на нашата работа е раскажувањето на приказни или она што се нарекува storytelling популарно, а тоа е начинот во секоја приказна да го најдеме аголот кој што најдобро го допира интересот на публиката и токму затоа успеваме да го свртиме фокусот на јавноста и кон оние теми кои што генерално се сметаат малку за додевни или неатрактивни. Се тоа беше препознаено и од граѓанскиот сектор, од голем број на организации и институции кои што промовираат слични вредности како нашите и тоа резултираше со голема побарувачка токму ние да ги раскажуваме и нивните приказни. На овој начин изминатата година успеавме дури 40% од приходите на Види вака да дојдат токму од овој тип на услуги кои што не ги нудиме директно, туку едноставно беа побарани од нас, а имајќи го ова предвид полека ги градиме нашите капацитети токму кон издвојување на еден сегмент во нашата работа, а тоа е создавање на раскажувачко студио кое ќе ги нуди токму овој тип на услуги и ќе придонесе за креирање на комплетна самоодржливост на Види вака.
Ниво 32 е безплатно печатно издание за градска култура. Всъщност не само за градска култура, все повече занимаваме с всякакъв вид изкуство и култура. Като вече 5 години, повече от 5 години го издаваме, на всеки 3 месеца излиза, винаги с различна тема, като към този момент сме направили над 20, сега работим по 24-то си издание. Без нашата общност, може съвсем сигурно да кажем, че нямаше да просъществува, да оцелее толкова дълго нашия медиен проект. С напредването на времето, участието на публиката се увеличаваше и към днешна дата целта ни е да ставаме все по-близки с аудиторията ни, като отначало подкрепата на аудиторията беше просто в стимулиране на дейността ни с добра дума, като после, бидейки безплатно издание, имахме много запитвания дали все пак предлагаме абонамент. Решихме да предложим такава възможност, като днес списанието остава безплатно, но всеки, който иска да ни подкрепи, може да го направи, като си купи годишен абонамент, в замяна на който получава добавена стойност като персонализация на физическото списание. Почнахме да развиваме онлайн магазин, отново същата цел. Продуктите, продажбите от който да подкрепят издаването на печатното издание в общи линии на медията ни. Това всичкото го правим, защото разбрахме, че Не може една медия да разчита единствено в случая нашия от реклама. Трябва да диверсифицираме по всевъзможни начини източниците на приходи. Единият от нашите алтернативни канали е именно участието на публиката. Било то през клуба, абонаментния принцип или през онлайн магазина.
Portál Storyteller sme založili v Magliči vo Vojvodine v máji 2018. A jeho špecifikom je to, že ide o regionálny portál, ktorý informuje a inšpiruje v dvoch jazykoch. Slovenčine a srbčine. Udržateľnosť médií na menšinovej mediálnej scéne je veľkou výzvou a v tomto procese zohrávajú dôležitú úlohu dve veci. Prvou je diverzifikácia zdrojov financovania a druhou je komunita, respektíve fokus na komunitu, čiže aby komunita, pre ktorú Storyteller existuje, pochopila, že moc spočíva v informáciách. Preto je Storyteller tu na to, aby prenášal a prinášal informácie, pretože vie, kde ich hľadať a ako ich spracovávať a uvádzať do verejnosti. A komunita je tu na to, aby nás podporovala v tom, aby pochopila, že aj my sme jej súčasť. Táto podpora sa napríklad odráža v zdieľaní nášho obsahu, podávaní správ o informáciách, teda informácií, ktoré musí široká verejnosť poznať alebo by mala poznať, a dokonca aj vo finančnej podpore prostredníctvom crowdfundingu, čo bolo pre mňa pred rokom takmer nemysliteľné. Prostredníctvom crowdfundingovej kampane, ktorú sme spolu s nezávislým združením novinárov Vojvodiny realizovali v Lani a s ďalšími 4 portálmi vlastne, napríklad Storyteller vyzbieral dostatok peňazí na spustenie nového mesačného podcastu Na hrane, čo sa nám podarilo v januári tohto roku. Komunita je teda alfou a omegou našej práce. Kvôli nej Storyteller existuje. Ona je v našom stredobode, je súčasťou našich príbehov, lebo spoločne meníme svet. Alebo povedomie. Ako chceme, môžeme povedať. Komunita je teda Storyteller a Storyteller je komunita. A naša komunita si to pomaly plne uvedomuje. V prospech nás všetkých, ktorí činíme túto komunitu.
As we heard in the video, community could be a great for the media. Maya, what do you think, basically, what are the main challenges in community engagement?
Well, we saw this video, which is very important for us because it shows the real results on the ground. With some of these guys from the video, we went through really hard processes of media building and engagement. And some of those challenges are now incorporated into our work. One of the first of them, let's say that the last girl that you see, Vladimira, she's one girl show. She has her own portal and she's working all alone. So what is the key to the success of this small media? It is organization and organizing the workflow in the way that it doesn't do anything to the credibility and the quality of media production. That is a really, really important thing to achieve. So that the things that you do in media business does not affect the quality of your production. And everybody in the team must be on the same page and must communicate all the messages to the outside world, to the community. Of course, there is one really important thing, such as to provide the information that our community needs, but the way they like to consume it, and in the places that they like to consume it. So if they are already on social networks, we need to be on social networks too. If our future audience is on TikTok, well, maybe we should consider doing videos for TikTok also. So we must follow the new trends, and we must follow what the community is doing and how they are reacting on those trends. And one of the maybe most important things that I mentioned also above is the technical side of this kind of media business, which includes donations, crowdfunding, and all different clubs that were mentioned also in the video. Well, the technical side is not too complicated, but you must involve some other people in the story, such as copywriters, designers, and maybe IT crew that will help you to install the e-commerce on your websites and your platforms. It is also there, those guys from IT sector are also there to help us to make the landing page very simple, because it sometimes makes a difference whether people will pay or not. And there is one more thing that I want to stress, and it is mostly connected to the Western Balkans region, where when we wanted to start this kind of media business, we had to cooperate with the bigger players, let's say, with banks, and though that cooperation sometimes is not going too smoothly. For example, banks are big players and they are not interested in let's say, small money. And when editorial is small and when they are expecting, let's say, smaller income, they do not recognize this kind of media as a serious client. But let me tell you one thing. I mean, this problem can be solved, actually, and we managed to solve it by creating coalitions, creating groups that will advocate how important is freedom of media and free flow information. It has a really big social benefits. Sometimes, in our case, there was a big pool of different organizations led by a donor community. In our case, it was AREC Serbia, that stepped in and that helped us to negotiate and to talk with big players such as banks. Well, I mean, there are also some problems in e-commerce also in Western Balkans. So the problem is that not every bank is offering, for example, recurring payment, which is very important for subscriptions, etc. And we actually, with the help of other organizations, we find that there are very serious payment providers in the whole region, in almost every country. So this is the next level of cooperation, where you introduce this kind of support also.
Maya, thank you very much. Basically, we don't have enough time. I mean, the time is running out. We have so many things to talk about, but at this moment we should finish now for today. Maya, thank you very much for your answers and your comments. Of course, thanks also to those who followed our session. You followed the joint session of the Konrad-Adenauer-Stiftung and the Independent Journalist Association of Vojvodina from Serbia. I'm Norbert Šinković, and I wish you a fruitful conversation during the Global Media Forum. Stay healthy and goodbye.